Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Unlimited. Tonight is the Hammer edition. Welcome. Drop in the comments where you guys are tuning in from, what kind of kayak you're floating out of. Click that share button in the lower left-hand corner. Show some love for these boys tonight. Hope everybody's excited. I seen some Unlimiteds getting shipped, people showing up on the water with some fresh kayaks. Hope you guys are being safe out on the water. And thank you, New Canoe Nation, for all the support. It's been overwhelming with all the great response out of the new kayak. We hope you guys are enjoying it. And for those of you that are still waiting, they're coming, man. They're in the mold. You're getting baked. They'll be getting shipped. And you'll be paddling a new boat soon. So let's get these boys in here. We got none other than Matthew Conant, Cody Milton in the house tonight. Once again, welcome, gentlemen.
What's happening?
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, man. Want to talk some tournament fishing. I mean, obviously, you guys are no strangers to the tournament scene. And season so far has started out great for both of you, I think. I mean, I don't think either of you can complain. Matt, back-to-back second-place finishes. Cody's got a first-place KBF finish. Cody's, you took 6th in a Hobie event too, correct?
Yep, and then 28th last weekend, I think.
Last weekend at Fork. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm hanging out with the wrong people. That's all I can say. We're gonna get some info from these guys. So if you guys have a question as we're going through talking to these guys tonight, feel free to drop down in the chat. I'll pop your question up on the screen, like Christopher Russell saying he pre-ordered the new Unlimited. Congrats on the new rod, my friend. But we did a podcast with you guys already a little bit. We got some background. So if you guys haven't seen those, I'll direct you to go back into the history videos on the New Canoe channel, or you can listen in on the New Canoe podcast on any major podcast platform. But let's start off with Lake Murray, guys. Like, I know it was kind of not the easiest bite down there, right? Like, it was kind of hit or miss. I know, Cody, you fished the first event, and didn't do so hot, and then you came back to the second one, and you were like, yeah, I need some hardware to go home with. So let's start with that, man, because obviously it didn't go your way the first tournament, and then the second one you just crushed it, man. So how did that all play out?
I had a rough time down in Florida at the first event of this season, but and honestly, dude, when I got to South Carolina, I didn't catch a fish for I think Wednesday or Thursday, and floated like this kind of stretch just in the river, and like we caught like an 11-2, like almost 26 incher, and like a 123 something, I think. So like kind of thought we found something the day before, but really didn't get to, I guess, kind of explore it all that much, you could say. But it was pretty cool. I think I ended up finishing 4th, I think, that first day that Matthew finished 2nd. So it was, I don't know, it was a really cool area though. Like I was kind of fishing something different than the lake, because in all honesty, I didn't get a bite in the lake for 2 days. So, ouch. Yeah. So it was mean to me for a little bit.
Yeah. You were mostly fishing up in the river, right? Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, not really doing like tailwater race thing, but kind of floating, I don't know, like 6 or 7, it's about 6.5 miles or so.
All right. Mm-hmm. And Matt, you were sticking to the main lake.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I pretty much suffered through the same pain he did. I didn't catch one fish in 3 days.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of a tough thing mentally, right? I mean, no fish pre-fishing, and then it comes tournament day. Like, how do you guys adjust for that? Like, you just go out and just swing for the fences, or I
Man,
mean, we'll start.
I mean, in all honesty, it's like a lot of the worst practices you'll ever have, dude. You'll stumble across something like Friday afternoon or something during the start of the tournament. Because I mean, if you're constantly fishing different waters, like fishing the clean water, fishing the dirty water, fishing the mix or current, if there be like, I don't know, you end up finally, I don't know, I would think like kind of figuring out something where you got a few bites on, or at least feel comfortable in your own water. Like, I feel like when I have a bad practice, I probably always revert back to what I do better at, even if it didn't work as well. That would probably be the main thing I would say.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, what was it again? My bad.
Your mind's racing a million different directions. I know you're thinking about winning that next piece of hardware right now.
Yeah. No.
Like, if you have that rough, like, pre-fishing session and you're going into the tournament, you're not really on anything. Like, what are you doing mentally, and how are you kind of putting a plan together to go out and actually catch some fish and put them on the board tournament day?
I'm basically learning all this stuff as we go here, as far as like the serious tournament fishing. So, I mean, what I basically really focused on was keeping a positive attitude. I mean, I knew where I wasn't gonna get. I basically kind of wung it and went. I knew an area that I wanted to investigate that I never got to. I knew some guys were getting fish in the area, so I basically just went out and fished and had to keep a positive attitude. Went out there with a bad attitude to start, then I would have just had an absolute meltdown.
I think that's huge, man. I had a conversation recently with somebody that I think he messaged me on Instagram or something, and it's his first year kind of tournament fishing, and he's like, you know what? I don't care win or lose. I'm just going to go out, have a great time, try to catch some fish. If I put some on the board, great. If not, no worries. And I said, you know what, dude? You're already 100% ahead of 90% of the field. If you have that kind of mentality, I think that's huge. If you're not focused on all the other side aspects of tournament fishing, if you're just going out fishing, having a great time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a great day on the water. I mean, would you guys agree with that kind of aspect?
Absolutely. And to take it a step further, dude, like all these lakes we get to go to are so famous, like whether it be Pickwick Lake or, Lake Gunnersville, like the national championship, like these are places a lot of people get to watch on TV their whole life and, never even get to go on them. And I don't know, just like, it's kind of easy to get, a little bored with them if you get to go to them a lot, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, you go to a lot of other lakes that aren't quite as famous and things like that. Like you appreciate why those lakes are what they are to a degree. So I don't know. For me, like it was really like appreciating where I am as much as anything.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, that's a good point, because I mean, all these lakes, you've heard the names and you've seen guys fishing, and every one of these lakes, it's basically my first time at this lake. So, I mean, to me, it's like around any point or in any cove, I could catch my PB at any given time. Keeps me going whether I'm catching or not. It just keeps my focus there and keeps my attention. So I agree with that. That's a good point.
I think there's one lake that's always on my list every year, and the first time I fished it was a KBF event down on Table Rock Lake, and it's like anytime I try to make at least one tournament down there a year, and I think part of that it was it's kind of my jam. I like that rocky bottom, gravel rock transition, and I mean, I caught a monster smallmouth. I think it was like 20 3/4 or something. And you're absolutely right. Like it was the second day of that tournament, and I think day one, I had like 3 fish, and I'm like, whatever, man, I'm just going to go out and have fun. And then I, came around a bend and just hammered on this monster smallmouth. I only put up 3 fish for that day, but that's a tournament I'll never forget, man. I mean, even though it wasn't a great finish in the tournament, I think that's just, like you said, you turn a bend and next thing you know, you're putting a giant on the board, and it's lovely. But so what kind of techniques were you guys fishing? Obviously, Cody, you're fishing the river. Matt, you're fishing the lake. So I'm sure it was a little different on both your guys' ends. So Matt, what were you fishing on that main lake?
On day one, I was on Main Lake Point with quite a bit of big chunk rock on it, probably about anywhere from 6 to 12 feet. That's with a jerk bait. I worked around that point, and I had a couple bass pulled up just before the point, and I had a couple bass boats go by, and they slowed down and they graphed around and they took off. So I'm like, oh, I guess it's kind of a known spot for a few bass boats that first like pulling in here and checking it. I didn't feel confident that they scanned it and then just kept going. So I just fished around the point and got a couple on the jerk bait early, and that gave me the confidence. And that's basically, I threw the jerk bait all day. That's probably the most confident bait I have. So I was excited to get one in the first hour and a half on it. And it just set me up for the rest of the day to do the same thing.
Right on. Cody, what are you fishing up in the river, man?
And that first day, I didn't realize they were biting moon baits kind of better in the morning or in the afternoon. So I actually fished slower the first morning. Like I threw a shaky head in a Ned rig a lot and really didn't catch any. I think maybe caught like 1 or 2 fish that I ended up using at the end of the day, and then like caught most of them later in the day, like on a spinner bait and on like hopping a chatterbait and stuff. But that second day, I kind of did the opposite. I really started thinking that you could get those really bigger ones early, like throwing a chatterbait and a spinner bait. So
Okay.
I caught that 25 on a 1 ounce accent spinner bait, and caught a couple of the other ones on a hopping a chatterbait too. And then I think my second biggest one that day though came on a Ned rig, like late in the day. Yeah, it was like 22 something inches on 7-pound line.
I completely forgot about the 25-incher, man. That's Jesus. I don't even know.
I've been catching some giant stripers, so like I really thought that it was a really big striper, but I finally saw some color on when it got to the boat and was pretty fired up.
I mean, it's not every day you just go out and catch a 25-incher, man.
No. And what was wild was like, I'd seen a 25 3/4 2 days before that. So it was like, I don't know. There's some big ones on that lake. I guess like kind of, I didn't know this before, but I guess like Davey Height his house is somewhere like, in that part of the river, I guess.
Okay.
So it's got some, good mojo around.
Right on. I like it. Well, we got a question in the chat here from Walt watching on YouTube. He says, "Hey guys, how many rods are you guys carrying when you tournament fish?" We'll start with you, Matt.
Well, I run 7.
7. All right.
I've had a lot of tournaments where I've ran as many as like 12 to 14, but honestly, if it seems like if you can get it below 7, you're going to do a lot better. I mean, it's like, I think at Lake Murray, I had 4 rods, and then the second day, I think I brought 5. And then at the Hobie, I think I had 4 rods. And it was like, I'm really trying to kind of minimalize that rod situation this year. But no, I mean, there's a lot to be said about having too much stuff behind you, being able to actually keep everything horizontal more so than having a lot of rods vertical. But yeah, I was like, if you can keep it below 7, I agree. That's a good number.
Are you guys carrying more during pre-fishing, or and then kind of eliminating and dropping down to the 4, Cody? Or like, I'm sure Matt, you're probably just carrying 7 the whole time, right?
Yeah, basically. If I get any more than that, I don't like to have them behind me.
Yeah.
My rod holders. So, like, as soon as I get out there, I'll take the 3 out of the rod holders. It's obviously the one I'm going to start with, and the other just hit the deck right off the rip. So
yeah.
And then I'll pull out a couple more than 4 or 5 back of the boat, and then things start getting ugly and
Yeah,
reach
they
for something
do.
fast, and you come up with 3 rods, and it's just
That's true.
What about you, Cody? Are you like pre-fishing? Are you carrying more and then dropping down to the 4?
I mean, I carry a lot of rods in my van. You know, I probably have like about 14 different setups I carry.
Just 14.
And it kind of, but I don't always take that. Like, you know, I never hardly take more than 12, like on the water. But like I said, I think that's hurt me almost more than it's helped me lately. Like I remember back in the day, like, you know, always having 6, 7 rods. But I don't know. I probably got a little carried away with rods. You know, last year to a degree.
I can see that, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
yeah, it just, I think the more you get back there, the more complicated things get, you know?
Yep.
I used to be one of those guys, just load the boat, man. Load the boat with anything and everything. Yeah, I might need this. I might need this. And, you know, but I think,
Do more with less. I'm
yeah,
on that. Yeah.
I agree. And it's taken me a little time to understand that. But, you know, pre-fishing, I'll probably throw 6 to 8 behind me. And then, you know, come tournament day, I'm like you, 4 to 6,
Mm-hmm.
you know. That's cool. That's cool, man. So, obviously, Matt, you took second place both tournaments. Cody, not so good first day. Second day, just come out guns a blazing. Puts a 25-incher on the board. Did you get a chance to weigh that thing?
No, we didn't get a chance to weigh either of them. I don't. The last like good one I weighed was like it was 24 3/4, but it was 10.2, but I think it might have been fatter than the one I got up at Lake Murray. So I don't know. I'm calling it a 10-pounder in my head, whether it was or not. I don't know.
I believe you. I believe you.
early, the 25.
I caught it in the first hour probably.
So you got later on in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I got I got a 20 something and an 18 something back to back cast, and then somebody drifted down, and like I'd already caught some pretty good ones. Like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going, and like there's a mud line coming out of this creek, and I'm fishing this mud line down, just holding a spinner bait in the current, and something just shoots out of the bank and takes it to the middle of the river. So it was good. I was like pedaled back up to get a picture, so it worked out pretty good.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Everett Park in the chat asking, what's your ideal depth for the majority of the season? We'll start with Cody on this one.
I mean, I would say, you know, I probably spent the majority of my boat was probably not in more than, you know, a couple of feet of water most of the year last year. I feel like most of all my fishing was kind of done either flipping or frogging or throwing a buzz bait. So, I mean, I would say under 4 feet.
Interesting. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I'd say somewhere probably eight or less. I would say most of that season, especially fishing a lot of them southern lakes. I mean,
Yeah.
I might be able to get off the bank a little more, but it seems like everyone I've been to so far, it's been the inshore bite for sure.
Shallow fishing. Yeah, that's why I'm not catching any fish anymore these days.
Whole day or checking humps and everything. I didn't see. I spent the whole day. I didn't get a bite. Didn't mark any fish. Didn't mark any bait. It was a struggle offshore for sure.
What about in like the summer months? Are you guys looking more at deeper water in the summer months, or are you still sticking shallow water? Like that top water bite shallow in the morning and then transition in deep, or just sticking shallow the whole time, you think?
I mean, honestly, you can go, Matthew. Sorry.
I'd say I'd prefer to stay a little bit shallower and fish some jump, some shaded areas for most of the day if possible.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I was talking about this with somebody the other day. Like, I probably start most all my tournaments with some top water. You know, for the once it kind of warms up a little more, I definitely kind of chase that roaming night fish that got lost up shallow overnight. You know, but I mean, from there, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say it, like especially in today's time, it's like, you know, I probably still practice more offshore, like trying to hit a home run, but it's a lot easier to, you know, revert back to shallow. You know, you can kind of fish with your eyes a little more. So I don't know, I probably still spend a lot of time graphing, but it's like a lot of times you don't make that happen, I would say, and you kind of try to salvage the tournament up shallow.
Okay. All right. I like that. Matt Frentes is in the chat and he says, which is Cody better at, fishing or ping pong? I have a feeling there's a backstory here.
Oh, well, we had a big ping pong battle at Lake Fork.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've played a lot of ping pong. Actually, I just got done playing tennis like 45 minutes ago. So I played a lot of tennis. I really still play a little tennis, but not much ping pong. But yeah, we had a big battle in Lake Fork, and it turns out Russ Snyder's is just as godly at ping pong as fishing. So.
Is there anything that guy can't do?
I don't think so. I watched him hit a few pool balls and left after that. So it was pretty impressive too.
Russ the Shark Snyders. I like it.
Scary. Yeah.
He schooled everybody at the 10 house in ping pong. He had the
I don't know. I think he's still playing a little more than I have lately. I want to give him a run again here in a little bit.
I like it. Yeah, and that's something we skipped over too. Both of you guys were at the 10, KBF 10 Invitational. I mean, how did that go? That's always a fun event. I know you guys get a paycheck no matter what. You just show up. It's cool. They rent you guys a nice big plush mansion, so to speak, for you guys to all hang out in and have a good time, and then get out there on the water and battle it out for the top 10, but it was 12 this year. Was that correct?
Yeah, 12.
Yeah, 12 guys battled it out for the 10 Invitational, man. So feedback on that.
I actually didn't make it this year. Matthew was in it though.
I thought you were there this year, man. Sorry.
No, I made it the last 4 years, but not this year.
No, I'm sticking my foot in my mouth.
Year. Hopefully next year.
I'm gonna go back and crawl under the table. Well, I mean, I just assumed. I mean, you're Cody Milton. You're there every year, So, I mean, I guess it's an honest mistake to make.
It's a poor close to the season for me.
Yeah, but you had quite a few good finishes, throughout your season last season for sure.
Nothing to complain about.
So, Matt, how was the 10 Invitational?
Guys, it was terrible for me. Yeah, fishing wise, but the experience itself, the whole 10 house and hanging with all the dudes and everything that went down, it was awesome. Like I see why people fish so hard and want to be in that 10 house now. Now I got the fever.
No.
During the experience, I mean, I was there last year for the board section of it when Derek was there. They let us come into the house, so I got a little taste of it last year, and it was like, yeah, it's a good time. It's an honor to be there, that's for sure. They make
the fever, baby.
Absolutely.
I need more cowbell.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, it's a cool thing, man. And not only that, it's always a great group of guys. It seems like every year. And I think I saw something. You guys were all helping a guy drop his gas tank in a parking lot or something because his truck broke down instead of practicing, or maybe it was one of the weather days or something, man. I mean, it goes to show a lot about our community, whether you're a hammer, middle of the road guy in the tournament scene or a new guy on the scene, right? Everybody's always willing to help out and, go the extra mile.
Absolutely.
And I think it was the Lake Murray event, right? Where Dusty went in. You were kind of fishing close to him, right, Cody?
Yeah, it was actually, I was dropping down to him. And he was kind of going to an access a little below me and just kind of like almost just barely didn't make it, just about a mile or so.
I mean, that's always an interesting, situation. For those of you that may not know, Dusty Yacker, another big name in the kayak fishing scene, got caught up in a down tree. We like to call those strainers. Got sucked under a little bit. Luckily, his PFD saved his life, and the water was 40 degrees down there, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
About 35.
And lost his kayak, but they ended up fishing it out. I think it was the next day, right?
Yep.
They
Yep.
found it, flipped it over. His fish finder was still on and everything. So
And he ended up flipping it over at 10 and ended up he cut a check. He was the last one in the money.
yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show. I mean, I know we got a lot of newcomers coming into the sport, man, and wearing your PFD is a must. You never know when it'll save your life. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced guy, I mean, it's a must have. So, yeah, man, thanks for stepping up on that. One question I want to ask both of you. We'll start off with Matt first. If you were going to give one piece of advice to somebody that's looking to get into the tournament scene right now, what would it be?
Go for it. No doubt. Go for it. That's my best advice. To somebody new, like just 100%. If you're interested, don't hold back. Don't think you can't compete or anything like that. Let's go for it.
I like it. Cody?
I would definitely say. I mean, there's so many. It's like there's a kayak tournament every weekend now. I definitely say go for it. I mean, you don't have to travel 9 hours to go to a tournament. Like now, we had a tournament in Arkansas last weekend. Like just a couple hours away. So I mean, I would say like like local clubs, like this stuff. A lot of those are really, really big. I mean, especially West Virginia's clubs. I mean, there are hundreds of people. Like our Northwest Arkansas stuff's the same way. So I mean, I would just see what's around you, probably in lakes that you're familiar with and are already fishing on it anyways. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely say start close, and then you don't feel like you have to go so far out immediately. But I'm with Matthew, so you got to go for it.
Get out there and go for it.
Yeah.
All right. One thing, what's one big mistake you think you've made in a tournament before?
Left fish to find fish. It's a mistake.
Let fish to find fish?
Yeah.
All right. Cody?
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. I mean, I've definitely done that plenty of times, or fish, even just fishing over fish too. Like it's a lot of times it's easy to do that, in Florida especially. I don't know. It's like understanding when you might still be around fish, but there's no present bite window happening. And that's. I don't know, like it's probably a little bit leaving fish to find fish, but also just knowing you're around fish and they're still not biting. I mean, I do that a lot and then leave fish, but still didn't really necessarily catch any in the morning. Like I kind of did that at Lake Fork. Like I caught, like 75 inches the other day in an area I thought was on fire. And I just was like trying to leave the whole day, and finally left. And somebody came in there and made several good culls in the end of the day. So I don't know. There's a lot of times you're better off fishing than running, I would say.
All right. I'll give mine. Use a phone tether. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You don't want a fish to flop off your board and your phone to go right into the lake. Just saying, it happens. I know a guy. What do you think has been the bait that has consistently caught the most fish for you both in a tournament?
I'd probably go with the buzzbait. Probably go with the black buzzbait.
Matt?
I don't know. As far as these KBF events, it's basically been a different thing at every lake. I'd say the chatterbait is probably in KBF events caught more fish on the chatterbait.
All right.
Slaughtered them on the chatterbait compared to a few fish on other events. So I probably caught the most fish on a chatterbait.
Okay. I like it. I like the black buzzbait better, but I like the chatterbait. It works. Works.
I hear a lot about it, and dudes are catching tanks, so I got to start throwing a little bit more this year. For sure.
You hear a lot of buzz about it?
Yeah, I hear.
What's one favorite accessory that helps you guys be successful in tournaments on the water?
Favorite or like
Anything.
my net. My net.
What kind of net you running?
Just a generic Walmart.
That's,
All right.
it's the best one. It's the rubber shallow net, aluminum handle.
Yep.
It's the best one.
I fold. If I lose it, big deal.
Yep.
Right on.
My net for sure.
Okay. Cody?
I would probably say side scan. I don't know. I would probably say like
All right.
the Hummingbird side scan.
All right. Humminbird. I like
Yeah.
it. Electronics are a huge thing. I mean, let's dive into that a little bit. I mean, how much are you guys utilizing your electronics during pre-fishing and tournament day, I guess?
I mean, it varies. I mean, I did from not using a transducer to Broken Bow or South Carolina to using one a lot the next week. I don't know. I feel like, especially now. I mean, we call them live scopers, but man, you pull up in a cove and they'll be like, 12, 15 dudes live scoping, and it's like, how loud that really is. So I don't know. I've been turning it off like a lot this year, especially in tournaments. I definitely use it more practicing than I do in the tournament.
Right on. Matt?
I mean, they're always on, like he says, it's situational. You know what I mean? Some areas you don't need it, but if I'm rolling around, I always got the side scan. So, I mean, it's pretty much 100% of the time, unless it's all off. It's either all on or all off, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, man. I mean, that side scan, especially when you're cruising, just looking for fish, pre-fishing, man, it's huge. You can stumble on some stuff. I mean, going back to that smallmouth I talked about that I caught at Table Rock, I stumbled upon a rock pile in 28 feet of water, and I was like, oh, there's fish down there. Pitched a jig down there, and 3 casts later, I was hooked up. But yeah, it's
even more like entry level reading side scan. Like, you can pretty well immediately tell how healthy an area is just by the amount of bait you're seeing on side scan. Because like a lot of times, like, bait balls are a little easier to see. I mean, not that you can't see fish, chasing them and stuff, but especially if I don't have many days to practice, I'll run and gun just using side scan, just trying to find a little healthier water.
I like it. When you guys are pre-fishing, I've heard guys do multiple different things. Are you guys actually hooking fish, or are you throwing baits without hooks to see if they're reacting to certain baits, so that way you can save them for tournament day? I've always thought this was kind of interesting.
I mean, me personally, I'm not shooting it off. I'm not that guy that pulls the hook off his bait. I know what I'm catching, and I want to know if it's going to hold up. If I pull through a spot and I catch one, I'm going to try to catch 3 or 4. If that spot gets burned up with me catching 3 or 4 in a day, then it's not good enough in my eyes to begin with. So,
okay, I like that aspect. Cody?
I mean, it's pretty. I don't know. For me, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty situational. I mean, there's some areas where, I feel like it's a really small area that there might only be 7 or 8 fish. Like whether it be a little spawning cove or something. Where I mean, if I can see them, I know what's in there. I definitely won't try to catch them. But I don't know. Yeah, offshore. Yeah, I definitely will try to catch 3 or 4 of them. For one, just to see if the size goes down a lot, like they tend to do sometimes, like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. The day before, a lot of times, I mean, it depends what you found too. If you're just checking on fish, you may try to just catch one, or just see if you see them. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I go back and forth on it myself. I'm definitely not one to cut hooks off though. But
okay.
Yeah, there's definitely some little areas I would try to save more so than others though.
All right. Tournament rituals. You guys got any tournament rituals? Like, you got to go to the IHOP before the tournament, or have a shot of your favorite liquor the night before?
No, not really. I'm not really too superstitious.
Carry a rabbit's foot, throw a banana in your buddy's boat? I mean, anything like that?
Not really. No.
I don't care. That's my only super.
What's that?
I don't carry a scale.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is actually came back to haunt me many times. But I used to think signing up for bonus bucks and big bass was a bad idea. For years, I wouldn't sign up for either one of them. But I did last year, but I have now. But that was one for me for a while.
How much money would you say you've lost from not signing up for that?
Over $10,000 probably in the last couple of years. Yeah,
Jesus.
I've won plenty too, though. With
Yeah,
it, so.
this is true. This is true.
He's got to back a little.
Yeah.
That was his way of giving back to the rest of the guys. I mean, I think I've donated money to both of you, so I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You know, sooner or later, I'll get some back. I hope.
We do a lot more donating than we don't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's talk about that aspect, right? So, you guys are both traveling national trails, right? And you guys are on the road a lot, hotels, campsites, food, all kinds of stuff like that. Like, put that in perspective for people that maybe in that grassroots club wanting to make that jump to like the national scene and chase more national events. Like, how hard is that, and how much money realistically do you think it costs guys? Or you don't want to talk about that?
I mean, it just depends how you want to do it. You know, I mean, I know people that cook every meal, before they get to the lake with, whatever they've got at home, and then like literally sleep in their car for 4 straight days, at a boat ramp, or,
Sure.
8 or 9 people splitting an Airbnb for, $50 for the 4 days or whatever. So it's, and the entry fees are going up, and obviously gas is kind of going up too. But no, I mean, I still believe that, like, as far as the entry fee to pay out, it's still better than any local tournament or local boat tournament you're going to find. Even a regional boat tournament, it's actually a better return. But yeah, I mean, it's just how you want to live. Like, if you want to actually, get an Airbnb, have a hotel for 4 or 5 nights. I don't know. Like, I kind of tend to send my van and, charge my batteries whenever I can and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty convenient staying somewhere too.
Right on. How about you, Matt? You living in the 5-star hotels, or are you vanning it up?
No, we get an Airbnb, and there's usually 4 or 5 guys. You know what I mean? So
It's a good way to do it.
Spend a week down there. Like Murray, I spent $250 on the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got somewhere to go home to. Your batteries, no issue getting your batteries charged. You got a shower, sleeping in a bed. I mean, I lived in a van every weekend motocrossing for years. You know what I mean? So
Heck yeah.
van plenty of nights. It's now that I'm in my 40s, nice to get in a bed each night. So I mean, 50, a couple hundred. We do a lot of traveling, so it seems like every event's 15 hours for us basically. So there's some gas money involved, but
Well, that's what happens when you live in Canada, bro.
yeah. Anywhere between 500 and $1,000, I would say that's like my total payout for a tournament. I would say, and that's a week long, So
Yeah.
Vacation. Where else can you go for 500 to 1,000 and have fun with your boys and hang out and possibly win money? You know what I mean?
I hear you on that, man. I mean, and that's it too. I've done all the above. I've slept in the truck. I've slept in my rooftop tent, Airbnb'd it up, grabbed a hotel room.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way and the most budget friendly if you can get a group of guys going to the same spot to, split up a house, Airbnb somewhere. I know I've seen numerous guys and gals posting in like the KBF page or over at the Hobie page. Hey, we got a house. We got 2 more open beds. Anybody looking for a place to stay? I think that's the best way to do it for sure. To save some money to, go towards, maybe paying for the big bass fee so you don't lose out on a bunch of money. Just saying. But that's cool, man. Any other tips, tricks you guys want to throw out there to the good folks, like, as far as tournament fishing goes before we close this up?
I don't know. What do you got, Matthew?
I don't know. I mean, my biggest thing is having the right attitude come tournament day, whether on fish or not, man. I mean, so many people self-destruct and talk
Yeah.
them out of doing this and doing that, and you got to stick to your game plan and just stay positive. That's what I got for you.
I like it.
Yeah,
Cody?
I mean, there's so much to be said about that. I mean, for one, like when you're feeling miserable, I mean, you're kind of making everyone around you miserable too. So it's like, you're sending off bad vibes, giving bad vibes, and it's just, I don't know. It definitely does seem, it really seems to go a long ways if you kind of just enjoy and love where you are and what you're doing. Seems to work out a lot more in the end.
I like it. Like it. Very cool, man. Well, Cody, we'll give you the floor, man. Shout out any sponsors, thank anybody, all that good stuff, and then we'll go up to Matt.
Absolutely. I'd really, like to thank Fish USA. I've been with them for several years now, and they're growing too, and it's kind of, for me, it was cool to kind of get on with them early as they're really getting into bass fishing over the last several years, and now they're carrying live scope, all kinds of cool stuff. So I can never thank Fish USA enough. Or they catch outdoors, Dakota Lithium, and New Canoe. Motor Guide. I mean, I think I've got my Motor Guide set up on 5 different boats now. I have 5 different quick sets, from a 21-foot boat to like a Frontier to a Pursuit to I even have a Hobie now that I've got one on, and a little Flint too. So like I've been switching it off, from a trout boat to all kinds of different stuff.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Matt, my man.
Oh, I mean, I ain't got as much going on as Cody does, but I mean, I got to thank New Canoe and Motor Guy. Without that whole pack right there, I don't know. I'm not a fan of pedaling or paddling. So I got to have the motor, and it lets me it possible to do what I like to do, where that, and friends and family, my boss, so we do the travel, getting out of work too, and Rob Richards and Rundle, Rob Richards and him on a new hair control rod, so I'm in with them, waiting to get some of those rods. Can't wait to get my hands on them, and Derek get me involved in this whole show, man. Like, I'm just blessed that he introduced me to it. It's been a blast.
So we talked a little bit before the show, and I want to end on this. You gonna go over to Brundle's house and steal his unlimited and throw it in your truck and drive away?
Hey, it'd be a good prank if he woke up one dude and it'd be a good one. So, because he was in like a sketchy part, not sketchy part of town, but there's some riffraff on the other end of town.
Hopefully Brundle's not watching.
Oh, I'm sure he's, dude. It's past 8 o'clock. Bed.
Ah, I like it. Practical jokes on Derek Brundle. We got to get some video footage of this.
Maybe on the social media.
Right on. Well, thank you everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you, Cody and Matt, for taking some time out, sharing some of your secrets, your tips. Wish you guys nothing but more success as the season goes on in 2021. And, it's always cool to see your guys' names right at that top of the leaderboard. So good luck out there, guys. Guys and gals tuned in tonight, thank you so much for joining us. Till next time, tight lines, smooth paddle.